Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Tori Clark and this is Little Dog. We're just out for a walk today and started coming across some mushrooms because it just started raining. And we haven't had any rain for, well, all summer. So we had a good solid 3 days of it and the mushrooms seem to be coming out. I don't have my tripod today, so you're going to have to deal with my handheld shots. My apologies in advance. Just come for a walk with me, see what we can see. You may think that, hey, what are they? They're just growing out of the moss, but right underneath, you'll find that they're growing on a fir cone. I'm trying not to hurt them, so. But yeah, they're on a Douglas fir cone, Pseudotsuga menziesii. And these guys are Strobilurus trellisatus. And got some other little mycenas growing here, little LBMs or little brown mushrooms. Hopefully we'll find some others along the way. Here's another little patch of them. Again, they look like they're just growing out of the moss, but right underneath is a little fir cone right there. Don't want to disturb them. Carrying on. Yep, it was a big Hymenoptera year. This is a fallen wasp nest after they've vacated. And it was really, really bad wasp year. But on the good side, it was a good bumblebee and honeybee year. So hopefully lots of fruit and good pollination going on. And here's a last year or maybe older Dyer's Polypore. Phaeolus schweinitzii. Very, very cool mushroom. You can actually still see some of the spores that are falling out from its spore body. And I have been looking all over for new growth of the Phaeolus, because I found another dead one on the other side of the ridge, but no luck. When I do find one, I will let you know. But they use this for dyeing fabrics and textiles. Pretty neat. And here is the false turkey tail, Sterium austria. So this is a crust fungus and does not have a pore surface. Just going to take a little piece off. On focus. So yeah, no pore surfaces on that. It's edible, but if you like eating wood, I don't know if there's any medicinal properties to it, but it seems to be munching down on this log pretty good. Beautiful. And look at all these Ganoderma aclinatum, the artist conchs. They're just growing crazy on this old Acer macrophyllum, which is a big leaf maple. Yeah, pretty cool. Another polypore, and trying to see all the pores underneath there. But yes, very. You can draw stuff on them. I'm not going to draw anything. I'm just going to show a mark. But yeah, people do amazing artwork with these. Pretty cool. And we're going to see a ton of these little mycenas, LBMs, little brown mushrooms. There's like, I think, over 600 different species of them. So trying to figure out what they are is pretty hard. But not worth harvesting. They're too tiny, shrivel up to nothing. So we have a nice cluster of Doug firs here. Well, they're everywhere. This one has some conchs on it. It's got some hoof fungus, Fomes fomentarius. Now, if you go way up, he's still alive. And they're growing all the way down the trunk. So why are they growing on a live tree? They're supposed to only be eating up dead ones, the saprotrophics. Well, this is a good indication that this one is dying and on its way out. So something to watch for in the next couple years and windstorms. Get in closer. Look at one of them. So there you have it. The hoof fungus. The spore body underneath. It's a polypore. And wow, look at this huge flush of turkey tail. Trametes versicolor. Just all the way. The most researched mushroom in the field of cancer. Just amazing. It's doubled in size. I saw this one last year. It dried up over the summer, and now they're all nice and floppy and wet from the rains. Doing their job. But yeah, totally edible, totally medicinal. And carry on with our journey. And I was just looking at this beautiful red-belted conch, and just to the left are the cat tongues, Pseudohydnum gelatinosum. And these are just coming out because they were not here yesterday. And I'll bring you in for a close-up, show you why they're called what they're called. Now they're edible, and here's the actual cat tongue. And on the underside, we call it Pseudohydnum because it has, if it'll focus, these little tiny teeth, which the hedgehog mushrooms are known for. So false hedgehog. And yeah, you can candy them, and they don't have any flavor as on their own, but you know, you can add whatever you like. And they're sprouting up all down this log, so keep on chugling. Meow. And here's another conch, and kind of stacked like pancakes. Phomitopsis officinalis. And they're a polypore as well, breaking down this log. Beautiful. So we were doing our walk yesterday, and I was seeing all these white mushrooms popping up out of the ground. And I was thinking, oh, these are the death caps, or one of the amanitas. But upon further inspection, I did a spore print, which they both have white spores, funnily enough. But this is the white dapperling, Leucoagaricus leucothites. So the one I brought in for the spore print was much bigger. The one thing is with the amanitas, they're going to have a vulva, which is a big egg sac on the bottom of them. And this one has more of a club at the base. So you want to get underneath them to get down. And see, this guy has more of a club. It doesn't have an actual egg, and it doesn't have the veil coming up. Other thing is the annulus, or the ring. It's an actual ring, whereas with the amanitas, it's more of like a hanging veil. So yeah, these apparently are edible, but they have small amounts of mycotoxins in them, which can give you gastrointestinal upset. I personally stay away from them. Anything that's white like that, that could be mistaken, accidentally, obviously, for the amanitas, you know, the phalloides or muscaria, well, muscaria is the red one, the Mario Brothers mushroom, but you'd know that one for sure. But nonetheless, even though I know what it is, I am not taking them home to eat them. Just not taking that chance. So I turn around from looking at the Leucoagaricus there, and what do I see but a little bunch of fairy parachutes. Maris mielis Candidus. Trying to get into the bushes to get a little closer shot for you. You can see them here just behind that stick. And they're just little cuties. They were here last year too, so when I turned around and saw them, it wasn't really a surprise. But yeah, they leave a little white spore print. Obviously, edibility, don't even bother with them, they shrivel up to nothing. I don't think they're poisonous, but again, they're white, so I would still caution. Err on the side of caution. So I climbed in a little further and grabbed one here. And these guys, that's their gill structure. They're quite widely spaced, as you can see here. And I'll show the top. Very ruffled. And almost a black kind of stipe at the base, and then turns to white. Yeah, beautiful little clusters. And I'll just spread some spores. Love these. So I noticed on this tree was a bright yellow mushroom, and looking down on the roots, well, this is Hypholoma fasciculare, or sulfur tuft. And these guys, look at the colors on them. Just amazing. The underside of these guys is truly beautiful. If I can get it to stick around. It's not showing up as yellow as it actually is, but it's very, very yellow. So they're toxic. They won't kill you, most likely, unless you eat a ton of them. But you're going to be like having gastrointestinal upset for, well, days, I'd be assuming. But yeah, they just love this balsam root. Look at these guys, they start to discolor. And then their gills kind of turn a smoky color a little bit as they age. So pretty cool. Now a lot of the discoloration on these are the spores from the other caps dropping spores on top of the ones below them. But when they're younger, before the spores really start dropping, they look like that. Or like this. Alright, moving on. And here we have our last mushroom of the day. And the reason why it's the last mushroom of the day is because I am going to harvest these and have them for dinner. These are Suillus caerulescens. They're another yellow-skinned mushroom. And they have, when they're wet, they have a very slimy top, hence the slippery jack. And then when you get a day of dry, it becomes kind of sticky, and hence all of this leaf litter and whatever gets stuck to it. It's a bolete, and it has a spongy spore surface. You can see all the tiny little holes. So you can see why they call it the yellow mushroom, because the entire flesh is actually yellow as well. So the inside, if you cut into it, I'm just going to pull out my knife here. You'll see, you can just scrape it. The entire thing is yellow. And it's not the most highly sought after mushroom. It's not like a king bolete. But it is quite tasty. Actually, I had a couple yesterday, and they're very, very mushroomy flavor, and kind of sweet. But you want to remove the cuticle. So, and you can use your knife, and when it's viscid, when it's wet, it kind of peels off, but it's not wanting to right now. But you want to take that cuticle off, because that can cause some gastrointestinal upset. And remove the spore body. It's quite easy. It's only a couple of millimeters deep. And you can just scrape it off, basically. Sometimes you can get it off with your thumbnail, but see, it just flips right out. And then you can just carry on from there. One thing is, these bruise very easily and very quickly. You can actually see the bruising here. So you want to harvest it right before you're going to eat it. So I will gather up a few of these and chop them up and get ready for frying them up in some butter and onions. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in one of the next episodes. Take care for now.